Well, welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. Today's video is going to be a really cool, kind of surprising unboxing, I think. This issue I haven't talked too much about. I did make one video where I mentioned this was an area of, comics, kind of a run of comics that I wanted to add. You know, as the title says, this is a Spawn comic book. It's a CGC 9.8 book. Didn't cost me that much, $80. So really excited about this one. Really quickly, I invite everyone to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Hit the bell, get all the latest notifications. Add me on Instagram. That's what I'm kind of most active on if you want to message me, so add me on Instagram. But yeah, really excited to add this book to my collection. I think this book, kind of the first of many of its ilk that I hope to add to my collection. Because they're kind of cheap and just really cool and so nostalgic for me. So, let's check it out. Yeah, and I kind of pre-unboxed and I had a look at it. It looks awesome. Alright, so I happened to grab a Spawn number 100, the Greg Capullo variant. And just a really cool, classic Capullo kind of pin-up Spawn type cover. And apologies for the sun coming in here. Usually try to wait a little bit later, but I think my maintenance workers are coming any moment. So, what I really, love this cover. Spawn 100 had maybe 5 or 6 variants to it. There was the McFarlane variant, which is kind of the one that most people know, with the 100 kind of written in Spawn, kind of crushing the 100. And that's a really cool one too, to be honest. I just kind of really gravitated to the kind of Greg Capullo pin-up Spawn cover, though, for Spawn 100. Very similar looking to Spawn number 99, which is kind of, yeah, it looks really similar if you check it out, kind of a Capullo Spawn cover. But, looking on the CGC census, CGC 9.8 of a book that's, kind of a key issue, I would say, but it's not a super popular key issue. Like it says here, it's a Death of Angela and Malbolgia. So, it's a somewhat of a key issue, and certainly the 100th issue of Spawn, it's kind of a milestone issue. But in the Capullo variant, for this one, there's only 25 9.8s in the world out there, which I thought was pretty cool. I hadn't even looked on the census before I bought it, because it was just something I thought was cool. As I said, I had mentioned in my Spawn video that I made a couple videos ago, that I'm just looking to kind of add Spawn comics in that sort of kind of, under $80 price range, I would say. So, yeah, to have only 25 of these in the CGC 9.8 was a nice surprise, actually. And, kind of comparing it to the most obvious compare, the McFarlane variant of this, there's 74 of those in the CGC 9.8. So 25 of these, 74 of the McFarlane one. So, kind of 3 times as rare as the McFarlane in the CGC 9.8, I think is kind of cool for, a cover that's equally as cool, I think. And what's kind of cool to point out, too, is it does have the classic kind of Capullo McFarlane signature, even though this is the Capullo variant. So I don't know if McFarlane just signed it because he did the inks, maybe, or he, maybe assisted, but... And I love the Capullo McFarlane kind of classic signature. I know I said that in my Spawn video. It's just how they did their signatures just look so cool on the cover. And kind of in the first 120 issues of Spawn, I would say, there's just so many classic Capullo McFarlane team-up covers. Yeah, definitely check out my Spawn video I did a couple days ago for kind of more info on that. But this comic book, just quickly, the CGC 9.8 ratio is 64%. Kind of a modern book, so, maybe not as important, that CGC 9.8 ratio. Kind of focusing it on that 25 CGC 9.8s only. Yeah, I just want to take a look at it. Like, what's really cool is I was just having a look at the picture last night, and one of those issues where I, just looking at it, and I was looking at it for maybe a good 5-10 minutes. Yeah, really... nice looking cover there. Glad to kind of was able to pick this up. Hopefully this book for me is kind of the first of many of this ilk, because I mentioned I'm kind of zeroing in on some non-key issue Spawn books from the run just because their covers are really awesome, and I remember buying them the day they came out, and I was really into Spawn in the 90s. So yeah, there's a couple I want to key in on, and this was one that was in Canada, so I just thought it was a good one to just grab because kind of, you know, I was really wanting to grab a Spawn CGC 9.8 that wasn't like a Spawn #1 kind of thing. And basically in Canada, I thought this was the coolest Spawn CGC 9.8 in Canada on sale at the moment, so I just grabbed it. For $80 too. I think it was $119 or best offer. And yeah, I think I might have went 60 at first, or maybe 65, and then offered 75, and then offered 80, and ended up getting a deal at 80. And the McFarlane Spawn 100 I've saw sell for a lot more than this. I think it has sold for that sort of 120, 130 price point. So I think this is kind of a bit of a good stab, actually, being in Canada. Sometimes U.S. buyers are a bit finicky about buying things from Canada, bringing it over the border. So I think sometimes some decent books can you know, be available in Canada in a kind of buy it now type thing for a while. Yeah, because they tend to sell maybe a little bit slower, I would say. Really happy to kind of begin my, yeah, this is kind of my first non-Spawn #1 Spawn book from the range. I got a Spawn Batman too, but yeah, I'm really excited to just kind of get more books sort of in this ilk. Yeah, like what comes to mind right away is Spawn 87, which is really classic for me as a kid. Spawn #90 and Spawn #95. Those are kind of the three I just really like. I love the covers, classic Spawn pinup covers. There's not a lot of them in the CGC 9.8, but looking to kind of pick those up over the next year, I would say, because yeah, not a lot in the CGC 9.8. All right, really quickly, obviously, talking about, you know, I'm a pretty big Spawn fan. I want to grab some non-key Spawn issues, but, you know, say you're just a key issue hunter, kind of collector, investor. What I would recommend for Spawn, and it was just a comic book I would completely recommend, is yeah, Spawn #1 in the newsstand version. And, you know, lucky enough to have a CGC 9.8 copy of one in the white pages. The newsstand version, you know, Spawn #1 direct version looks exactly the same, so it doesn't have the UPC code. And yeah, basically with the newsstand, you're getting a much more rare version of Spawn #1 because there were, I think it was 1.7 million Spawn #1s printed. So yeah, you know, I wouldn't really recommend Spawn #1 unless you're on a budget and you're just getting it to kind of have it for nostalgia purposes because it's a great cover. But, you know, if you're a collector, hunter, key hunter, investor, comic book collector, would completely recommend Spawn #1, newsstand in the CGC 9.8, you know, first appearance of Spawn. And I just think, yeah, right now, it's one you want to buy. Like, there's no kind of, I know last year there was some obvious sort of whispers and promotion that there was going to be a Spawn movie and that was possibly, like, starting production. So this issue kind of shot up to like 400, over 400 you would see some of them go for. But in the last kind of 6 months that's slowing down and you see some go for kind of 350. I think I saw one go for 325. Ended up picking this one up for 375 with like really good shipping to Canada. That's what I was kind of looking for because a lot of the books for me have to get cheap shipping to Canada because I would say more than half of the books from the United States have like $60 shipping to Canada, so it kind of excludes them from me being able to buy them. Alright, that's going to be it for this video though. Yeah, hopefully in the next month or two here I got some more kind of Spawn books from the first 100 issues, really as those, you know, as I said, those three that I really want. So hopefully I can zero in on them. And I am, you know, a Spawn #1 newsstand in the CGC 9.8. I'm not against grabbing another one of those if it just comes up for a great price with cheap shipping to Canada. Because it took me almost a year to find one for a decent price with cheap shipping to Canada. Because yeah, and to buy it now for these people are asking like $500 for them to buy it now. So, you know, to get it to get it, you know, shipped to Canada for me for less than $400 was like a huge achievement, I think, for me. So I thought it was a really good deal. So yeah, not against adding another spawn number 1. But if you haven't already, I'd invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Hit the bell, get all our latest notifications. Yeah, you know, I got a couple more packages coming in, a lot of video ideas. I want to do kind of some 2019 wrap-up videos and maybe some top 10s or something like that. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but a lot of ideas for videos, so if you subscribe, it'd be so appreciated. And thanks for all the support, and thanks for watching today. I'll see you on the next video.